Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shubi. How are you all doing? I hope you're great. So today I'm going to be sharing with you how to draft a shoulder dart. I don't like padding my blouse, but look at how defined the bust looks. This is how to make a shoulder dart blouse. So to start, I already have my lines marked, so I'm going to quickly explain to you guys what each line represents before we continue. So this is the shoulder line, this is the bust line, this is the underbust, and then here is the waist line. So from my shoulder to my bust point is 12 inches. What I have here is 12.5 inches. So I added half inch for the same. From the shoulder to underbust is 15.5. I made it 16 inches. The half inch is going to be for the same. So this half inch I'm adding to each measurement is going to be taken out from the shoulder. So when you sew the shoulder on a half inch mark, it will correspond. So the half length is 17 inches. That is from the shoulder to the waist line is 17 inches, and I made it 18 inches. I gave an allowance of 1 inch. This is 17 inches. When half inch goes out from the shoulder, we're going to have 17.5. And then because this is a peplum top, we're going to be joining at the shoulder by half inch. So when you take out half inch, it will come down to 17 inches, which is the actual half length of this dress. Okay, so the bust broad is 7.5 inches, so I'm going to divide that by 2, which is 3.8. So this is where our 3.8 mark should be. So I'm going to add half inch to that 3.8, which is going to be for the same. So what we finally have is 4.2. The reason is that I'm going to be joining this on a half inch mark, this part and then this part. So when we join by half an inch, it's going to come down to the actual measurement, which we should have here. Coming to the underbust, this is 4.2, so I'm going to mark 3.8 here, and then to the waistline I'm going to mark 3.8 because I want this to be a little bit defined, so I minus half inch from what I have at the bust line. I don't know if this makes sense to you. So going over to the shoulder, our shoulder measurement is 16 inches. 16 by 2 is going to give us 8 inches. Before we continue, let's get our neck width. I want to make this neck width 3.5, which is the standard. You can make yours 4 inches, 4.5, 5 inches. It depends on what you want and then the design you want to achieve. But I just want to make this one 3.5. So I'm going to get the midpoint between the neck width and then the shoulder measurement. So the midpoint is going to be here. From this point, I'm going to measure 1 inch. This is what I want to cut out from the shoulder. So this is the actual midpoint, and I measured 1 inch from there. So that's where I'm going to, draw my line from. So remember, this is the center. I'm going to connect from here down to the bust point. I'm going to take 2 inches from the underbust and I'll take it down to the waist. That's what I want to cut out from this pattern. I'm going to connect from this point to the bust point. So the neck depth is going to be 5 inches. Let me just make it 5.1 inches. I'm not making your regular kind of neck line. I want to give this some sort of sweetheart shape. So I finally didn't use the sweetheart neck thing. I didn't like how it looked, so I had to just remove it. The waist measurement is 34 inches. 34 by 4 is going to give us 8.5. This is where our 8.5 should be, but because we're going to be taking out 2 from here, and we're going to be joining this on a half inch mark. Half inch is going to go out from this side, and half inch is going to go out from this side. So which is going to make it a total of 1 inch. So here we have 3 inches going on. 2 inches here plus 1 inch we're going to use to join this. And then the seam allowance for this blouse is going to be 1 inch. So this is going to make it a total of 4 inches. So we're going to add 4 inches to that 8.5, which is going to give us 12.5 inches. So the same thing is going to happen here at the under bust, because the under bust is 34 inches as well. So coming over to the bust line, the bust is 39 inches. 39 by 4 is going to give us 9.8. I'm going to join this on a ½ inch mark, ½ inch on the side and ½ inch on the other side. So 1 inch is going to go off from here. So add that to the actual bust measurement, which is going to make it 10.8. And I'm going to be joining this at the side by 1 inch, which is going to make it 11.8. So I'm going to be marking 11.8 here. Then the shoulder measurement is 16 inches. 16 divided by 2 is going to give us 8 inches. Remember the distance from here and here is 1 inch. Then to that 8 inches, we're going to be adding this 1 inch we'll be removing from here, which is going to make it 9 inches. And we're going to be joining this on a ½ inch mark, which is going to give us 10 inches. So this is our 10-inch mark. I'm going to make it 10.5 for the join, like the joining at the shoulder line, because this is going to have a sleeve. So to get our armhole line, I'm going to divide our bust by 6 inches. I'll add 1.5 inches to that answer. The shoulder slant is going to be 1 inch. I'm going to connect from the neck width line to the shoulder line. So I'm going to get the midpoint from the shoulder slant to the chest line. What we have here is 7 inches. So I'm going to divide that by 2, which is going to give us 3.5. Now, because this is the front armhole, I'm going to come in by 3/4 inch. The actual bust measurement is 9.8. Distance between this line here is ½ an inch. So I'm going to add ½ an inch to that 9.8. I'm going to be joining this on a ½ inch mark, so which is going to give us 1 inch. So I'm going to add 1 inch to 9.8, which is 10.8 plus 0.5, that is plus ½ inch. Then plus the 1 inch allowance I'm going to be given for the side seam. So what we have on the total is 12.3. So I'm going to be connecting from the shoulder slant to this 3/4 inch that I came in by to this upper chest line. So guys, it's time to cut out our front pattern. So we're going to go on to cut the back pattern. So I'm quickly going to explain to you guys how I got those lines marked. This is the shoulder line, this is the bust line, and then this is the waist line. I already gave 1 inch allowance for the zipper. So the shoulder width is 3.5. I'm going to come down by 1.5. I'll go ahead to connect my points. Make sure this extends to the zipper allowance. Okay, so the shoulder measurement is 16 inches. 16 by 2 is going to give us 8 inches, which is here. I'm going to mark it 8.2. That 2 there is going to be for the seam allowance. So I'm going to take this 8.2 down to the chest line. Remember, to get the armhole, you're going to divide your bust measurement by 6 and add 1.5 inch to that. The bust measurement is 9.8. From the shoulder, I'm going to come down by 1 inch. I'll connect from my neckline to the shoulder. So from this shoulder line to this chest line is 7 inches. So the midpoint is going to be 3.5 inches. So I'm going to connect from this midpoint to this point. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I forgot to emphasize these lines with my marker. I am just saying this. I'm so sorry. You just have to look very well to see what I am marking. It's not going to happen again, okay? So the waist measurement is 34 inches. 34 by 4 is going to give us 8.5. So before we do that, let's get our darts. From this point, we're going to measure 4 inches. Then from this chest line, I'll come down by 1 inch. And then I'll measure 4 inches from here. So I'll connect from this point to this point. Then I'll measure ½ inch on both sides from this line. So I'm going to connect this way, okay? So the waist measurement is 34. 34 by 4 is going to give us 8.5. So I'm going to add this 1 inch allowance for that to it, which is going to give us 9.5 plus the 1 inch you're going to be using for the side seam, which is going to give us 10.5. So this is the actual measurement, and then this is the 1 inch allowance we give for this project. So I'll go ahead to cut out my back pattern. So this is what we have. I'm going to use this to cut out our fabric, and this is the result. I enjoyed it all the way through. Hope you enjoyed it as well. Let me know what you think about this video in the comment section below. Feel free to share this with your family and friends, and also feel free to let me know the videos you would like to see here on this channel. All right guys, until next time, keep loving, keep creating. We're going to see in our next video. Bye.